All right, headline number 2 is the headline we want you all to pay attention to, because that is the headline that is brought to us by Attentive. If you want to learn more and to see why thousands of brands use Attentive's SMS platform to send interactive marketing campaigns that better engage consumers and drive revenue, then visit attentivemobile.com/OmniTalk to request your demo today. All right, and according to Chain Store Age, Sobeys is opening up its first North American, what it's calling a Flexstore. Thank you, Joey Tribbiani, in Ontario, Canada. What is a Flexstore, you might ask, Anne?
Well, I think you need to explain that Joey Tribbiani is air quotes Flexstore because people can't see.
Yeah, because they can't see because this is a podcast. Yes, right. Well, and because
what is a Flexstore, Chris?
Thank you very much for asking me that. Well, a Flexstore concept is a concept designed by Interstore and Schweitzer that allows Sobeys to change counters and entire departments quickly and easily without major construction costs to respond to changing consumers' needs. All the furniture used is flexible and ready to plug in as a result of an elaborate system, which the building services, including things like water, electricity, data, are fed from the ceiling into the counters and the furniture. So, Anne, I know I surprised you with this being one of my choices for the Fast Five this week. Are you coming around on this story? Or do you think I'm still nuts?
No, totally.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
I'm so thankful that you brought this to my attention, because the headline for this, like many headlines in our retail industry, does not get to like the impact that the store is going to have for Sobeys as an organization. Right. I was having total deja vu after reading this, Chris, from our days working on Target Store of the Future. I hope listener Brian G is loving this, because it made me think of him when we started working on that project. And he's like, listen, it's not, you can't just put stuff up and you can't just take your concept world of a store and all these things are moving around and it's beautiful and fun.
You can't just be modular.
You can't just be modular. Exactly. And I learned from Brian and our team. And I think what Sobeys is going to learn here too, is that it's much more than just making flexible fixtures like we've seen at like the Bloomie's store, or like, having these temporary pop-up sort of things. Yeah. It's really about building the building infrastructures to support how you're going to truly have a flexible store that allows for things like, changing checkout and payment terminals, that allows for changing merchandising spaces. And so I think that, for me, Chris, this actually is like neck and neck right now for me with Trigo and Tesco as a store I want to see live in person in the next year, because I would love to see how they're doing this.
Yeah, I would love it. I would love to see it too. Like, how does that actually work? Like piping in the electricity and the water from the ceiling. Yeah, I mean, Anne, that's so. First of all, I'm going to take a little victory lap on this, because you were
run around
the
studio.
Said this, you're like, no, but that's cool. I'm glad you came around. But
I didn't know what a Flex store was. Like, you can't just lay Flex store out there and expect us to know what you're talking about.
Well, and that's what we do on Omni Talk. We look deep into the headlines to try to bring you the things that are most important. Because yes, and like from our Store of the Future days, I think what Sobeys is trying to do here is important. Like with how fast retail is changing, how fast technology is changing, especially in store, how it's evolving. It's becoming exceedingly difficult for retailers to build stores that don't become obsoleted in a few years.
Yes.
And so by dropping everything from the ceiling, that gives them the ability to be more flexible. And it might be more expensive for them up front, but in the long run, I think that's going to pay off as they're still trying to figure out how to navigate this omni-channel evolution, so to speak. And the other thing too, for those people that aren't aware, Sobeys is big time.
Yeah.
They have 1,500 supermarkets in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an important important headline. I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, this is so much more than like, putting USB ports in the like Caribou coffee store or something like that. Like, I think that's the important thing for people to call out. This is not just like one or two things or extra outlets or something. This is like major structural changes to the building to support it. So
yeah, plug and play.